Hello everyone, welcome again to Rumah Belajar Matahari. After discussing some problems of English structure in TOEFL before, now we'll continue with the next one. In this video, you'll learn the problem with tenses, that is, the use of irregular past forms. For me as an English learner, it was very challenging to understand and also to memorize the changing of the verbs. And seriously, there are a lot of them. That was my first impression when my teacher gave me a copy of irregular past forms of the verbs in high school to be memorized. Well, anyway, let's give it a try to answer the following questions before we discuss more the irregular past forms. Good luck! Just like learning any languages, it is important for us to notice some parts of the sentences, such as the subject, the verb, and the adverb. Well, the adverb is not necessarily always there anyway, but for now, we'll also talk about the adverb. Now, let's have a look at this sentence. The concert began at 8 o'clock. Once we are already familiar with the parts of sentences that I have just mentioned, here we can see that the concert is the subject of the sentence, began is the verb of the sentence, and at 8 o'clock is the adverb, which tells us time in this case. Then, so what? What are we supposed to do with the irregular past forms? Here, by the use of begun as its verb, we can tell that the sentence is trying to tell us about the concert which happened already in the past, not the one which is playing now or about to play later on. How do we know that? It is simple. It is because begun is the past verb or the past form of the verb begin. By the way, many grammar books list a large number of tenses in English, but the two basic tenses are present and past. And auxiliary verbs are used with the main verbs to express future and other special times, such as is, am, are, was, were, and so on. Remember that the past forms of the following irregular verbs are not the same one in the participle form. And so far in my English learning journey or when I was at school, I usually call them verb 1, verb 2, and verb 3 because it has the basic form of the verb in verb 1 and it can change into the other two forms, that is verb 2 in the past form or verb 3 in the past participle form. And anyway, the list here is not the only irregular form of the verbs available. There are so many more like out there. And you can see that it is this irregular past form of the verbs are totally different from those regular verbs such as listen, open, cook, and many others, in which those regular verbs they need only to be added ed by the end of the word to change its form from the base form or the base form of the verb into past or into participle form. Now let's have a look at these examples. From each pair, which sentence do you think is the correct one and the incorrect one. Take your time and don't forget to take some notes if necessary. Alright, let's check the examples one by one. For the first pair, the first sentence is incorrect. Why? Because we can see that here it has the adverb after, and it is followed by the verb had practiced. That is a past perfect form, which tells us that it happened in the past. In fact, done is a past participle, or as I call it, verb 3. So the correct one is they did it very well after they had practiced. So the sentence, it is using the correct form of the verb, that is the past form, did. Okay, so next, we can see here that the sentence has mentioned the time when the activity or event happens, that is last year. But the sentence is using the verb eat that is not used in the past form. So the correct one is we ate dinner in Albuquerque on our vacation last year. I'm not sure if I am pronouncing the name of the place Albuquerque correctly, so please correct me if I'm wrong. So this is the correct one because it is using the correct verb, that is ate, in the past form. Next example. Again, the sentence has mentioned last birthday to indicate when it happened. That is in the past. But it does not use it doesn't use the proper verb. It is using been. Instead of using the past form, it is using the past participle form, been. So the correct one is, I know that you were 40 on your last birthday. Well, congratulations for you who have successfully identified the mistakes in these examples. And for those of you who still find some mistakes, don't worry, you still can practice more to sharpen your skills. And now let's check your answer. For the first question, let's read the whole sentence. Before the Angles and Saxons blah 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 to England, the Iberians had lived there. Here we can see that it consists of two clauses connected by the adverb before in the beginning of the sentence. The first clause has a missing verb, while the second clause has its verb already, that is, had lived. By recognizing the use of past participle form in the verb had lived, we can easily choose the correct missing verb that must be in the past form, which is see, came. So the question is, why not did come? That is a very good question. Remember, we only use the auxiliary did in the negative past form, such as did not come. So it's not applicable here. Okay, next question. When Columbus seen the New York, he thought that he had reached the East Indies by way of a western route. Here we can see that the three of the choices are verbs. They are A, seen, B, thought, and C, had reached. And here we also can see that this sentence consists of two clauses connected by when as its adverb in the beginning of the sentence. When Columbus seen the New York. And from the overall sentence, we can see that this information is to tell an event that happened in the past. Therefore, seen is irrelevant here. It is supposed to be saw, which is the past form of the verb see. Anyway, you may be wondering, how can I memorize the irregular verbs? Oh my God, because they are there are a lot of them out there. There are a lot of irregular verbs to be memorized. And for sure, before I continue, so please click like and also subscribe. And here, I'm sure that there are so many ways, even more creative ways that you can do to remember the list of irregular past forms more easily. Here, I would like to share two ways that you can try at home. And the first one is to have a set of flashcards. On one side of the card, you can write the verb word, and on the other side, you can write the changing of the verbs. I mean, the past form and also the participle form. For example, on one side of the flashcard, you can write drink, and on the other side, you'll write drank and drunk. And also for this flashcards, you can make into small flashcards so that it would be easier for you at any time to shuffle the cards and randomly review the verbs. Okay, so the other way that you can try, the second way that I'd like to suggest you to try is that to make a note. And the note here, it can be a list of irregular verbs from those started with A up to Z, and or you can have them in group with similar sounds, like for example drink, drink, drunk. You can put it together with sing, sing, sung, and write, wrote, written. So it will be in one group with drive, drove, driven. So try to find like similar sounds and then group them into one. And the other one is that, so in your note, you can start with having a list of most commonly used words, such as sleep, wake, eat, drink, and so on. Like those, like daily activities mostly. Most of them are irregular verbs. And what is this? What is the note for? That's a question. It can be for your personal reference at any time you need. For example, you want to find like specific word, then you can have a look at it. Or also you can try to memorize some of them day by day. That's exactly what I did when I was at school anyway. Alright, that's all the lesson today. I will see you in the next lesson. Thank you for watching and bye bye. Oh, by the way, don't forget to stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, and the last one, don't forget to stay crazy. Bye.